Today, we're diving into fantasy isekai anime so consistently good they don't have a single bad episode. No dips, no filler nonsense, just straight quality from start to finish. Prepare your snacks, because this list stays elite. Kicking off with number 10, Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. Mushoku Tensei is one of those anime that people pretend they're undecided about, but deep down, they know it's fire. The show follows Rudeus, a former NEET who reincarnates with all his memories, which automatically puts him 80% ahead of every fantasy protagonist who usually wakes up like, where am I? The world building is so rich it feels like the writers rolled a natural 20 on lore creation. Magic systems? Detailed. Character progression? Solid. Emotional arcs? Unexpectedly punchy. And let's not lie, the animation goes way harder than it has any reason to. Sure, Rudeus has questionable moments. Mambi acting like puberty is a personality trait, but the storytelling never drops the ball. Even filler-looking episodes end up tying into something meaningful. The pacing stays smooth, the stakes keep rising, and the character interactions feel real. Plus, every arc introduces new energy instead of repeating the same leveling up formula. If you skip this because of the controversies, fine, but the series itself? No bad episodes. It's crafted too well. Sliding to number 9, ReZero, Starting Life in Another World. ReZero is the anime version of emotional cardio. Subaru dies, resets, suffers, grows and repeats so much that even my phone battery feels bad for him. But that's what makes every episode hit. There's zero fluff. The show throws you into a cycle of tension where every scene actually matters. Every decision Subaru makes ricochets into something horrible, brilliant or both. And let's be honest, Rem and Emilia fans still beef like they're in a WWE storyline. The world building is layered with political drama, magic systems, and cryptic weirdos lurking around every corner. The Witch of Envy? Terrifying. The White Whale arc? Peak stress. The return by death mechanic? Still the best use of time loop storytelling in anime. Subaru's character development is messy, painful, and rewarding. He's flawed in a way that feels real, not manufactured. The reason ReZero has no bad episodes is simple. Every segment builds to something. There's no wasted screen time, no pointless side quests, no let's relax at the festival for 3 episodes. It's pressure, emotion, and mystery from start to finish. Landing on number 8, The Rising of the Shield Hero. Shield Hero starts like the universe woke up and chose violence specifically for Naofumi. Dude gets summoned as one of 4 legendary heroes and immediately becomes the most disrespected man alive. The betrayal in episode 1? Brutal. Even Game of Thrones side-eyes that scene. But because the anime pushes him down so far, every victory afterward feels unbelievably satisfying. Raphtalia's growth from terrified child to absolute queen is top-tier character writing, and Philo staying chaotic is just the perfect seasoning. What makes this series hit without a single weak episode is the pacing. It never drags. Every arc either deepens the world or moves Naofumi toward reclaiming his dignity. Even the side characters don't feel like cardboard NPCs. The politics of the kingdom, the tension with the other heroes, and the mystery behind the waves all stay engaging. People love to argue about season rankings, but the truth is this anime's episodes always deliver something. Emotion, action, drama, or Naofumi roasting idiots who definitely deserve it. And honestly, watching him go from hated hero to problem-solving powerhouse never stops feeling good. Looking at number 7, No Game, No Life. No Game, No Life is what happens when 2 geniuses get sucked into a world where everything is determined by games and immediately treat the entire planet like a speedrun challenge. Sora and Shiro don't just win, they disrespect their opponents with strategic swagger. This anime has 0 bad episodes because every single one is a spectacle. The colours, neon fever dream. The dialogue, sharp enough to slice air. The mind games, some of the most entertaining in anime. There's no filler either. The story rockets forward with constant momentum. One episode you're watching them outsmart a kingdom, next they're challenging literal gods like it's a Tuesday. Even the comedy holds up, and the fan service, while spicy, isn't overdone. The series balances humour, tension and strategy like it's juggling chaos and somehow winning. The The biggest tragedy is that we still don't have season 2, but every episode we do have is certified quality. It stays fun, unpredictable, and consistently clever, proving that sometimes brains are the best superpower an isekai can offer. Dropping to number 6, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Rimuru Tempest is the most peaceful menace in all of Isekai. Man reincarnates as a slime, starts absorbing powers like a discount Kirby, and somehow ends up running the friendliest nation in anime history. The charm of this show is how effortlessly it balances wholesome vibes with big battles. One episode you're watching Rimuru negotiate like an overpowered CEO, and the next he's unleashing city evaporating magic like it's a minor inconvenience. Every episode brings something fun. The world expands, alliances form, new characters roll in with personality, and even the slice-of-life moments feed into future arcs. The story never feels padded because each plot thread eventually connects to something major, and when the series does get dark, it hits hard. The Jura Tempest storyline turns from cozy diplomacy into chaos, proving the show isn't afraid of emotional weight. The comedy lands, the action slaps, and Rimuru's evolution stays satisfying. There's a reason people call this anime their comfort isekai. It delivers steady quality without a single dull installment. Stepping into number 5, Overlord. Overlord is the anime where the protagonist is the final boss, and everyone else is just trying not to get deleted. Ain's Owal Gown enters a fantasy world still stuck in his undead avatar and instantly becomes the most powerful creature for miles. But the real fun isn't just his power, it's watching his NPC guardians interpret every tiny action as divine intention, while Ain's is internally panicking like, please don't expose me. Every episode pushes the narrative forward, exploring new factions, kingdoms, and political plays. Overlord doesn't waste time, the pacing stays tight, the tension builds, and the world always feels alive. The perspective shifts give the series depth too, showing how terrifying Nazarick looks from the outside. And the soundtrack? Menacing perfection. The show's consistency comes from its commitment to being dark, strategic, and surprisingly funny. Ain's is overpowered, but the story still finds clever ways to challenge him without ever dipping into repetitive nonsense. Even the brutality has purpose, not shock value. Quality from start to finish. Moving to number 4, The Eminence in Shadow. This anime is what happens when a kid obsessed with playing edgy mastermind actually gets reincarnated into a world where his delusions become reality. Sid Kaganu doesn't want to be a hero. He wants to be the mysterious guy pulling strings in the dark. And the hilarious part? Everything he makes up accidentally turns out to be true. The deadpan comedy is unmatched. Sid narrates nonsense while the world treats it like gospel. Every episode is pure entertainment because the show never takes itself too seriously, yet still delivers hype battles and strong storytelling. The Shadow Garden girls act like they're in a dramatic opera, while Sid is out here living his best cringe lord life. The dual-tone style, parody mixed with legitimate world-building, keeps the series consistently fresh. There's no filler, just escalating chaos. One moment, Sid is pretending to be a mob character. Next, he's effortlessly defeating villains while monologuing like a theatre kid with superpowers. The mix of humour, action, and absurd confidence makes every episode elite. Crashing into number 3, Grimgar, Ashes and Illusions. Grimgar is the anime that said, no power fantasies here, let's talk about fear, grief, teamwork, and slow progress. It drops characters into a fantasy world with no memories and absolutely zero plot armor. Every episode matters because the story builds through human struggle instead of flashy RPG shortcuts. You feel every victory, every setback, every awkward conversation. It's one of the most groundless grounder ever made. The pacing is quiet but deliberate. Even simple scenes like cooking together or budgeting supplies add emotional weight. The character development is natural, not forced. And the art style? Soft, watercolor visuals that contrast beautifully with the harshness of the world. It looks peaceful, even when the story isn't. The death in early episodes hits harder than expected, and the group dynamics shift realistically afterward. This anime stays consistent because it focuses on real emotion rather than spectacle. But trust me, number 3, it'll mess with your head in the best way possible. Rolling into number 2, The Faraway Paladin. The Faraway Paladin is like a warm, emotional fantasy novel animated with care. It follows Will, a boy raised by 3 undead guardians who teach him love, discipline, responsibility, and strength. The parental relationships alone put this anime above most isekai. There's no lazy writing here. Every episode builds Will's character with genuine heart. The world feels ancient and spiritual, not generic fantasy copy-paste. What keeps this anime consistent is its pacing. It doesn't rush Will's growth or his journey. Instead, it focuses on faith, morality, and purpose. When action does happen, it hits harder because you actually care about the characters involved. And the atmosphere? Calm but epic. The kind of storytelling that leaves you thinking long after the episode ends. Even when Will leaves his adoptive family and begins his quest, the emotional foundation carries the entire show. There's no single weak episode because every moment contributes to the overarching narrative and the formation of a true hero. Finally, number 1, the saga of Tanya the Evil. Tanya the Evil is pure chaos wrapped in military strategy. A ruthless salaryman gets reincarnated into a tiny blonde girl in a war-torn world and immediately decides to challenge the godlike being X out of petty spite. Every episode is sharp, intense, and filled with dark humor. Tanya's expressions alone deserve awards. She switches from polite soldier to unhinged gremlin in milliseconds. The anime never dips in quality because it stays fully committed to its tone, cynical, dramatic, and brutally tactical. The battles are cinematic, the politics are layered, and Tanya's internal monologues are pure villainous gold. Even supporting characters get meaningful development, which adds weight to every conflict. What makes this series truly stand out is how it balances horror with humor. Tanya is terrifying, but you can't stop watching her obliterate enemies while questioning her own fate. The storytelling remains tight, purposeful, and endlessly entertaining. No bad episodes, not even close. And that wraps up our list of fantasy isekai anime that never drop the ball. If you've watched any of these, tell me your favourite moment below. If you're adding new shows to your watch list, welcome to the club. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more anime breakdowns.